I'm Luann de Lesseps, and I think Tyler might recognize me from The Real Housewives of New York City. I've seen, card readers and fortune tellers, etc., but I've never had a real reading. So this is very exciting for me, first of all, and kind of a little scary. I think to not know what is coming makes me a little nervous. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Luann.
Yeah,
Oh,
Tyler,
I
are you
recognize
recognizing?
you.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
I recently got into watching the New York Housewives, and she's one of my favorite people on that show. She just has a really interesting energy. Wonderful to see you.
You too. Welcome to Chez Josephine's.
Thank you.
Come on
It's
in.
amazing.
Chez Josephine's is really, really special to me.
This is a beautiful space.
This is gorgeous, right?
Amazing.
A good friend of mine owns it, and it's very near and dear to my heart. It's one of my favorite places in the city. Let's sit right here.
Luann, seriously, it's so wonderful to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
Oh, I really
It's
admire
exciting.
you. I'm like a little starstruck. So.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
But I'm actually curious too about this space. So this is obviously a unique space.
Yes.
And it has some actually unique energy, to be honest. So I'm kind of curious.
Oh, totally.
I love it. And the second I walked into here, there was like I don't know. I don't usually walk into spaces and feel the energy of a person, but I did.
Yes.
So I'm just kind of curious about that. So we might touch on that in a minute. But I'm going to kind of see naturally where we go, because there's already a lot coming in. So the way that I work is I scribble. It's just my way of connecting. So I'll just give it a scribble, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
So I'm just giving it one sec. Okay. As of right now, I have one man coming through who I can tell is an individual who is not family, and he actually passed away at a premature age. But he's doing this to me, and when they do this, it's their way of acknowledging that they take accountability for their passing or what caused them to transition. Now this man, I can tell, comes across very creative, kind of an energy of very brilliant mind. The thing with this is they're showing me double-edged sword, double-edged sword, double-edged sword. So when they do that, that's their way of usually acknowledging that whatever good quality they had also might have been the thing that caused some torment internally.
Right.
So do you know of any situations pertinent to an individual dying at a premature age and contributing to their own passing?
Yeah, the owner of the restaurant.
Okay.
He
Gotcha.
was a friend of mine.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And he was very creative.
Right, brilliant mind in the way this comes
Brilliant.
across.
But his own worst enemy in a way.
Yeah, that's hard. It's a double-edged sword, sometimes being a brilliant, creative person. And in the way this comes in, he's having me acknowledge, he actually took his life.
Life was a cabaret for Jean-Claude. He was a man who liked to put on a great show. But you could tell there was a certain amount of sadness there and loneliness, But I'm sure a lot of people didn't even realize, so it was a surprise when he passed.
And it's hard, because when people pass in that way, we're left wondering, well, what could we have done different?
Right.
And things like that. But
Yeah, how come I didn't know how dark it was for him in there?
yeah, but I think, honestly, when he comes through, he just needs everyone to know with this that nothing could have been done differently for him. He does not feel alone anymore. He comes through absolutely lovely, feeling very free is the way that I would describe this. I feel like I'm free, I'm free, I'm free.
When Tyler said that, don't worry about Jean-Claude, he's good, he's happy. That made me so happy, because it just took, because I felt so bad about not being closer to him and when he probably needed me the most. You get caught up in your lives and people fall off in between the cracks and you can't always save them. It feels good to be in Chez Josephine's and hearing that from Tyler. It gave me peace. We say in French, he was a bon vivant. He loved people.
Right.
And he loved this restaurant. He made this place what it is. Wow. Yeah.
Good to keep in mind, stuff will fall off of that over there. When that does happen, it's just good to know that that's the man connected to the space.
Over there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where he used to stand and wait for everybody to come in.
Oh.
That's where he used to greet everybody.
I love that, because it's all right there.
He would stand right at the corner of that bar and wait for all of his friends to come in. Now I can start coming back here again, because I haven't been back in a while. I was kind of scared to come back in a certain way. I don't know why, but now I feel like it's okay. I'm good. And Jean-Claude is good, and that's everything.
Let's see, I'm gonna try to hold on to that and see if that helps. So let me see. There, 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 there. there's this man popping in, and he is identifying dad's side of family. He's bringing up the last 6 months of his life for some reason. And this man actually passed of cancer. And it's like 100% cancer, like without a doubt. And it's like coming through repeatedly. They are bringing me to the month of March for some reason. So March. Do you know any significant dates in March within family?
My father died in March.
Yeah.
And he died in 2005 already. I can't believe it's been that long. And he had cancer, so yeah.
He's bringing up, holding on, and then he's showing me a clock. And when they do that, that's their way of saying that to some extent, like, they timed their passing. So someone was waiting for someone to show up, or things along those lines. It's like, I timed my passing.
Yeah, I was with him.
He's having me bring up that there was a suggestion in some capacity of, like, going in and trying to do something, but it's like, no, this is not a good time to go in and do this. He's putting like a big red X around this other thing of like a suggestion of like, oh, we can extend someone's life for a period of time.
Right.
And he's saying no with this, like no.
Well, you know, he had cancer and he could have been operated, but he had friends that were operated for the same thing.
Gotcha.
And they died, and so he thought, you know what, I'm okay, I don't need to be operated, I can deal with this. He thought, you know, I can beat this. Yeah. And I didn't even know, he didn't even tell me. He didn't want the family to know. He just thought, you know what, I'm good. But he didn't realize what he was up against, so.
Right. When this comes in, it's his awareness of that,
Yeah.
of that decision making,
Yeah.
and that ultimately, when they bring forward these things, it's their way of saying they have peace with this, they're okay with this, and they just want family to have that validation and understanding that, you know, he wanted to kind of take his health into his own hands. When he comes in, you just need to know that he was appreciative that you made the effort to try to be there. He feels like he could pass away knowing that you were gonna take care of things in whatever way that meant. And I just keep hearing taking care of things, taking care of things, taking care of things.
It was very hard because I was very close to him, and you know, when you love somebody and you can't help them, and I am a nurse, so it was particularly hard for me that I didn't even know he was ill, and then it was too late. So that was very frustrating for me. It was rough. It was rough to see him go through that journey to the end of his life. But I was with him, and I held his hand. And when he would be scared, I'd say, don't worry, I'm here with you.
I know this is gonna sound kind of weird, but he feels like he was closer to you later in his life than earlier. And
that's true.
He's showing like a lot of beauty around that.
Yeah, no, it's amazing because, you know, with 7 children running around, he never had time. He was working and he never had time for, you know, individually with us. So later in my life, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna spoil him rotten. I'm gonna have him travel with us. And so he came to Switzerland, he went with us to Asia, he went with us to Paris. He was happy discovering the world, places he'd never been. So we got to do that together, so I feel really lucky.
Well, that was a gift you gave him too.
Yeah.
To be able to have those experiences.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I think that's one of the best things as a child we can give back to our parents.
Yeah.
You know, and you did that for him.
Yeah.
Know that your dad's giving you that pat on the back.
Oh, thank you for that. Of course. He was such a beautiful man with a great stature and had more class in his one little pinky than anybody I've ever met in my life. He used to say to me, you know, remember, the simple life is the best life. And I used to look at him when he would say that when I was modeling in Milan, pulling up in a limo, going, what is he talking about, simple life? I mean, look at how I'm living, look at me. But it's kind of odd to sit across from a young man who's 21 and hearing him kind of channel your father. My father died 12 years ago. You know, those thoughts haven't come into my mind in a long time. And he just laid him out on the table in his scribbles. It's like, wow.
I'm so glad that you came through today.
Yeah, me too, thank you. Thank you for connecting me and my dad again.
Absolutely. Of course.
So yes, this is where he would stand, right here.
Right over here.
Right here, by the phone.
I love it.
He'd stand right here.
Yep.
Willkommen, you know, like they do in German.
Yep.
I'm a believer. I mean, he said a lot of things that nobody would know. So he's the real deal. For me, it was very soulful. It was very pure in intention.
All All right, well, bye.
Bye. I can't believe that I got to talk to my father. I can't believe I got to communicate with my father, who's no longer with us. It was unbelievable. I feel blessed. Blessed, really.
Hello! Surprise! How are you? My name is Jill Zarin. I live in New York City. Some people might recognize me from being the original cast member of The Real Housewives of New York City, and I have a lot of family around me here and there. You know I'm obsessed with tennis.
Oh, I love it. Yes, I'm excited to be here. I've only played like once or twice.
Well, guess what? You're going to be playing a third time. Here's the charm.
I'm excited.
Are you really?
I am.
wasn't sure if you were going to be like hateful and say, why would you do this to me? I don't know.
No, I love it. I'll get these pants are a little tight, so we might rip, but...
No, we've got clothes
Okay.
for you. I'm going to take you shopping.
Awesome, all right.
I thought it would be nice to get to know Tyler as a person while we're playing tennis, and then we'll do the reading. Anything that'll fit or that you like, you can take them in the locker room and see. I don't know what size you are.
Truth is that I ran out of underwear on my trip to New York and instead had to wear pajama pants. But because I never know who I'm reading or where I'm going, I didn't expect to have to play tennis. So when I had to just change into the shorts, I had to hide my pajama pants because I wasn't wearing underwear. So now you know. It's just our little secret.
Bang!
Well, normally I don't sweat this much until I'm actually in the reading. Hey. Whoop, sorry. Try it again. All on the elbow. It's really cool.
No, I play every day for 2 hours for a year and a half, pretty much. Well, that's what got me through Bobby being sick.
Right, of course.
I had to get out of there. I mean, because I was going insane. My husband, Bobby, passed. Everybody asked me, what are you doing now? Are you on TV? You come back on the show? And I said, I'm not on TV, but I'm addicted to tennis. That's what got me through Bobby's illness, and that's what's keeping me fit and healthy. And he said, when he was okay, he'd say, go to tennis, go to tennis. That was like
your getaway.
My getaway. And then afterwards, for sure.
Yeah.
And I also feel socially, for me,
yeah,
it's the place for me to be.
Absolutely.
That's where I'll meet people and everything.
For sure, so important.
I wish I had more time.
Yeah.
But I got to get a reading.
Okay. I love it. Bye. Thank you again. All right.
Welcome home. We are in New York City in my apartment where I have lived with Bobby for 18 years. And about 9 months ago, Bobby passed from cancer that he has been suffering with for 7 years. Hopefully, Bobby's been talking to Tyler, so he knows who Bobby is. Okay, welcome.
Well, this was fun. We got to play some tennis.
We did. How do you feel?
I feel good. I feel like I've had a workout.
So today's the first reading since Bobby's passing that I've had, really because I don't think I was ready for one. There are things that only he and I know.
I have my notepad, so basically you'll see throughout the duration of this, I'll be scribbling.
I am the proud mommy of a beautiful daughter named Allison. My sister and Allison are the two closest people to me in my life.
My job is to be specific and to be able to bring forward validations and details that you know, that your family knows, information that's not out there in the public. And that's really obviously what I strive for, especially in situations with public figures.
Bobby's passing was very public, and I think that the way to keep him alive is through talking about him. So I'm all in.
I see you do have some objects here. Looks like there's a ton.
It looks bigger than it is because there's a big blanket.
Okay, cool.
So it's taking up most of the room. So don't be overwhelmed by the box. It's a little scary.
No worries.
Okay, so I made this with my own 2 hands, and I know nobody would believe me, right?
That's amazing.
And then I ended it about a week before Bobby died, and I let him sleep with this. That's
cool.
this he slept with the last week of his life.
And don't tell me too much about the objects.
I think you can probably guess who this is.
Probably it would have been a very aggressive grandmother. Just kidding.
It belonged to my dog.
Yeah, I figured.
Here's his briefcase.
Okay, fabulous.
So
he
had his business cards, all wrapped in rubber bands. And a bag of keys if you want those.
Let's
I
just
think
start
that
with this.
covers that.
Yeah.
Picture of him.
We have options.
This is one of us. I didn't know which one you'd prefer. I found this picture, I don't even know where, in someone's house, and I had it framed. Not to leave my dad out, this is my father's mother. Mom. Yes. What's wrong?
This is never going to start. She is going to talk forever. I'm very sorry. It's
okay.
Don't.
Wait. I'm wearing his watch.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing his ring. But the ring he gave me, and I haven't worn it since he died.
No worries.
Mom, let Tyler.
I know, but he wants the objects.
No problem.
Thank you. I love you.
Fabulous. All right. Well, we'll see if anything comes in. And
Good luck.
We've
Get
got
lost.
plenty of objects to work with. All
Get
right.
lost.
So as I go through this, I'll do the majority of the talking. I'll just communicate everything that I see, hear, and feel, and we'll go from there.
I don't think Tyler knew what he was getting himself into.
And let's meditate. Let's see what comes in. They're bringing me to this object, which I'm going to touch. I feel like they're having me talk about, I keep getting a reference to a Helen or an Ellen sounding name, and they're showing me this little chihuahua, like a little nugget. Do you know of anyone who's lost like a chihuahua or like a dog of that kind of breed?
I lost my chihuahua 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
And that was her toy.
Oh.
And Helen is my grandmother.
Check and see on the grandma side of things, just really quickly with the Helen reference. Check and see if there's any memories of a little child being at the wheel of a car.
That's 100% true.
It's a weird thing. I'm not seeing a child driving necessarily, but I'm seeing a child at the wheel of a car.
Okay, all right, I know what this is. Okay, the only thing I can think of, Tyler, is that I was behind the wheel of the car when I was about 4 years old on the driveway. My mother was unloading the packages and left me, and I was behind the wheel of the car, and it slid in the back, and the entire car went back the driveway. And I remember everyone freaking out and rescuing me and stopping the car.
Wow.
You never told me that story.
Never. You don't know that story?
Wow, fascinating. I do feel
Do you think that's what it is? You don't think it's like my father in a car years ago when he was a kid?
It's definitely like a reference of a kid being at like
I was at the wheel of the car. I can remember it like yesterday.
Absolutely. Well,
right now, go away.
We'll see if anything else
definitely
comes
happened.
through. Awesome. No worries. So yeah. They're immediately having me jump into this, and when it comes to Bobby, there's kind of a reference of wanting to discuss some like family dynamic. He, versus focusing on himself, is focused more on the family and what would have happened before his passing and after his passing. He wants to make sure everyone else is good. He's not really focused on himself.
Shocking.
He's having me talk about these three. He's referencing to kids, and I'm a little confused because he's referencing to 3, but then he keeps adding a 4th, and it keeps switching between 3 to 4, 3 to 4, 3 to 4.
Wow.
So do you know what
Do you know how many kids Bobby had?
No clue.
I don't think anybody.
Oh my God.
No one's gonna believe this. So Bobby has 3 children.
And I'm the 4th.
Allison would be the 4th.
Gotcha. They're bringing this up, and I feel like I have to talk about this dynamic. He's very clearly wanting to acknowledge Allie in a very, like, loving way, almost like you are like a daughter to me is the way that I would describe this. So he's wanting her to have that validation that she was important, just as any other biological child would be.
Allie must be freaking out right now. Sometimes the 3 siblings, you know, without meaning to, would leave her out. She's younger than them. She didn't grow up in the house with them. I don't think it's purposefully hurtful, but nevertheless hurtful. So that was a really important message.
There's a lot coming through.
And there's a lot to come through.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm like gonna die right now.
Well, if you do, you can still come through.
Thank you.
He's having me talk about the last, like, 2 years of his life. It's more than appreciation. He didn't want to in any way feel like he was holding you back. And then he's like, well, this is our new normal. And I don't want this to have to be our new normal forever.
I said to him, this'll be our new normal, we'll be okay. So you not being able to walk or whatever, that's our new normal. I actually said the words, this is our new normal.
And he didn't want to hold you down. He didn't want to restrict you because there's this feeling of like, now she doesn't have to worry about me. Now she can live her own life. And he wanted nothing more than for you to be able to do that. And that's very important. He wanted you to be able to have this next chapter in your life after he passed. And he actually almost is putting a sense of excitement, as hard as it is for him to have passed. For him, it's like he's excited for you.
It was very, very tough at the end, and he knew that. And he never wanted to be a burden to anyone. Like, it's been 5 minutes, and this is already more than I thought would happen.
There's no way you could know this. Not even the housewives know a lot of this.
Gotcha.
You are so exactly right. Everything you've said exactly has happened.
We'll connect those dots.
Yeah.
So there are some messages that are coming through, and this is oriented around Bobby. Some of these you may know, others you may not, and it might be messages for other family. So I want us to kind of all keep this in mind. He's, for some reason, having me acknowledge that there were a ton of quote-unquote memorials. People memorialized him in a million ways. And I'm seeing, like, not just 1, not just 2, but like
literally entire groups of people like honored him in separate ways. But there's something about a send-off. You know when sun hits the water and it kind of like shimmers and gives like that look?
Glistens.
Yeah, someone did something right by water as kind of almost like a send-off to him in some way. So it's not an ocean.
I got that one.
What is
I
it?
know.
I got it. I know that one.
Tell me.
There she is.
Okay.
The vault.
This was a big deal.
Yes.
What?
Okay, can I have the chair?
Yeah.
Because I can't sit and
Yeah.
She's got the dog.
Okay.
I love it.
It's okay to have the dog. I can't help the dog. You know,
Bobby
I have to
didn't know
hold
the
dogs.
dog.
It's the thing.
Oh.
Jill gave Bobby a send-off when he was alive and told him it was his living funeral on the water in the Hamptons.
I did not. Where? What are you talking about?
The party.
What party?
My mom has a very bad memory, so it's good me and my Aunt Lisa are here to help.
Jill runs an annual summer party at the Hamptons. It's
Right.
a big deal.
Okay, yes.
Gotcha.
And Bobby was sick in July.
Right.
Right.
And you brought him there. You videoed it. Everyone there was there to say goodbye to Bobby. You made it the
Yes.
send-off. You actually called it the send-off.
I did. I don't remember.
Where did
And it
this
was
happen?
on the water.
I lived on the water.
But
I
it
had a
didn't,
house on the water.
It didn't feel like the ocean, though.
It wasn't
No, it
the
wasn't
ocean.
the ocean. It was a bay.
Oh, okay, well, there you go.
I didn't even
amazing.
think of it that way, and it does glisten, and the
It
water
was just-
glistens.
It was just like
If
you
I
just
showed you the
described
picture,
it.
you can't believe it. I didn't
Exactly
even think
right.
of that.
Thank you for
You're
the
welcome.
validation. I appreciate it.
Wow. She's completely right.
That's
But I
helpful.
obviously didn't see that.
That's okay.
At all. And she's right. I did tell everyone it was his like living funeral.
There really is a feeling of like deep appreciation for that. I
He
feel like
liked
so
it.
much of
He
this
got
is
to say goodbye to everybody.
Exactly.
People he wouldn't normally say goodbye to.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't say goodbye, but you know.
Oh, wow. So go and see, because this just came through, check and see. After he passed, I'm hearing his voice, and it's in audio form. There's a feeling of like finding a recording of Bobby. Either a voicemail that plays, a voicemail that comes up that we didn't know we had, and then someone finds this. So I just need you to know this. I don't know what this is, but it's for sure after he passes.
I recorded him.
Did you? Really?
Is she gonna remember?
It doesn't feel for you as much as it feels for family. So, I just want you
I
to
have
know
to ask
that.
his kids. Maybe they found something on their phone, a message.
It's like a
and they never
surprise.
said it. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
You happened to you?
Yep.
Oh my God, I can't. Get out of here. Come on in, sit in the chair.
You're the worst.
I have the worst memory, I told
okay.
you. What
There's
happened?
this app on your phone,
Yes.
StoryCorps.
Yeah.
You can record.
What do I have?
I did it.
What did
We were
you
in
do?
the hospital
Yeah.
when he was still there, but he was going. It was in the fall, and I came home. It was exactly your girl for my birthday when he was really sick in the hospital, and I was like, "This is the time." Because he kept pushing it off and pushing it off. I wanted to ask him questions,
Right.
and I've been too afraid to listen to it since. You were there.
Yes, I do remember
I
it.
recorded it, just the audio, which you wouldn't expect. It was just audio, and I haven't opened it.
Wow.
We recorded like
Where is
8
it?
questions on my phone.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I didn't forget about it, but I haven't wanted to
Play it?
Play it, yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to hear it.
December 20th, 2017.
He died on January 13th. Oh my God, this is going to make us all cry.
Can you tell me a little bit about your childhood and what were you like as a child?
My mother didn't drive, and so she
Why
never
didn't she drive,
drove. She was scared to drive. So I was pretty much isolated. Whatever I had to do, I had to do on my own. So I had my dog, Ginger. And,
That was the first Ginger.
He had a dog, Ginger.
I come home from
What
work.
kind of dog, Bobby?
It was a German Shepherd.
How old did she
everything.
live to?
18.
Wow, that's a long time. So the other Ginger is on its way. Okay,
Yeah.
He sounded good December
She was
20th.
so active and so full of life.
He did.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know how intimate that is.
No, it's great. I feel like he's here.
Thank you for
Thanks,
that.
Alec.
I just want you to know, I mean, in the way he comes across, so much of this is about him knowing he's still honored, and his life still
Good.
continues in a big way.
Good.
Through how we honor him, how we continue to carry his legacy.
There's no question Bobby was here and that he wants me to be happy. So I don't want to get verklempt. Oh, I didn't expect to cry. That I didn't expect. I didn't even cry at the funeral. Crazy.
I want you to know, in the way this comes through, I really feel here from him is he's telling me that he wants you to know that he doesn't want you to be alone. And that basically he didn't want you to have to, when he passed away, spend your entire life alone. He viewed it as a new chapter, and he wanted you, after he passed, to make sure that you were with somebody, because he needed to make sure that someone
Okay.
had your back and was looking out for you.
Unbelievable. First of all, the word chapter that you referred to was something we talked about a lot. Bobby taught me that life is like a book. Bobby's telling you to tell me that the chapter is over of Bobby and that the new chapter begins. And it has. I mean, I'm dating and I have somebody in my life and I'm very happy and I want to know if Bobby's okay with it. And you just told me. I didn't want to ask you.
Yeah. And those questions that we have, that we carry with us, our loved ones know what they are.
Does he like him?
Oh, of course. He wouldn't have come forward and been like, yeah, move on that next chapter if he didn't.
No, I know he would. I know he's exactly who Bobby would have picked for me.
Absolutely. No, amazing thing. Even for him as well, that's admirable because there was no jealousy there. He was willing to, he wanted you, he put your needs first.
Always did.
And what a gift.
That was the marriage we had. It was an incredible marriage.
He acknowledged that the love that you two shared, that's a love that some people live their entire lives never coming close to getting, even once.
And that is so true, Tyler.
And you two were able to spend the time that you had together, and that love was there. And for him, that fulfills lifetimes.
Lifetimes.
Of love. And I want you to know that as you continue this, like, he's gonna be there with you, and he wants to have these new experiences because you're letting him have new experiences too through it. He's never far from you.
Bobby knew I needed to have that permission from him, that he wanted me to move on, that he didn't want me to be sad. He didn't want me to be alone. He knew I didn't do well alone.
I'm so glad we were able to do this today.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Thank you so much.
Oh, poor Jill.
I love you. Wow, am I overwhelmed. He didn't miss one thing. Next time, you'll beat me.
Oh, you are precious. I don't know about that, but I'll see you next time.
Okay,
thank you.
Thanks, Tyler.
Bye.
It's an honor that Jill trusted me enough to connect to her departed husband, someone she loved so deeply and was so connected to. The ultimate goal of every reading is to help that person, to leave someone better than I found them, and to show that at the end of the day, we all experience the same loss and have the same needs.